What's his name's here too?
Who's doing what you are?
Oh, I don't know his pictures.
I'll keep
Oh, you
them,
have
or
it?
unless you took them from me.
Don't worry about it. Well, yeah, I guess you can.
Okay, we're ready for the jury. Agent Staley is right there, so we'll go ahead. I'll have him come on into. Very good. Thanks, ladies and gentlemen. You can be seated when you come in. Thank you. And then, Agent, we'll just have them sit down and then I'll swear you in. All right, thanks everyone. You may be seated. Sir, if you would raise your right hand, do you swear or affirm the testimony or statement you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. You may be seated there, sir. As you can see, our jurors are distanced, so if you would please keep your voice up for them and our court reporter, I would appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Attorney Easter, you may proceed. It is 5 till 2.
Thank you, Your Honor. Will you please state your full name, spelling your last name for the record?
George Edward Staley, Jr., Staley.
Where are you employed?
I'm employed for the Attorney General's Office, the Bureau of Criminal Investigation, and I'm based out of the Richfield, Ohio office.
Okay, and that's when you were out in the lobby, you saw one of your coworkers come in earlier and testify, Agent Soraya?
Yes,
And that's the same Bureau of Criminal Identification and Investigation we shorten and call BCI?
yes.
Okay, and you said based out of Richfield, are there other locations for BCI as well throughout
Yeah.
Ohio?
Richfield, Youngstown, Cambridge, Athens, London, there's various offices throughout the state of Ohio, yes.
Okay. And what is your job title?
I'm a special agent, and I work in the Major Crimes Unit, and I'm currently assigned to the Crime Scene Unit.
Major Crimes Unit, Major Crime Scene Unit. And how long did you say you've been with BCI?
13 years.
Where were you employed prior to coming to BCI?
I was detective sergeant and detective lieutenant with the Ashland County Sheriff's Office for a period of 23 years.
Okay. Now, over that 36-year time span, you've had a lot of training and education. Briefly, to be an officer, can you detail for the jury what type of training and or education you've had?
35 years ago, I went to basic training, the Ohio Peace Officers Training Academy. Graduated from that, went to the Ashland County Sheriff's Office, where I was employed as a uniformed officer on the street for a period of maybe 7, 8 years, something like that. And then the rest of the 23 years I spent in the Detective Bureau as a detective and then a sergeant lieutenant, where I oversee the day-to-day operations of the investigative unit. Then in 2008, I transferred over to the Bureau of Criminal Investigations. And during that time period, I've attended many classes at the Ohio Peace Officers Training Academy. And then I was also sent to Tennessee to participate in the National Forensic Academy for a period of 3 months. And then graduated from that class as well.
Do you have to have any certifications or anything of that nature?
We have to have an Ohio Peace Officers Training certification prior to, that's one of the distinctions about coming to BCI, is you have to have the Ohio Peace Officers Training Academy certifications for that.
Now, as an agent at BCI, how do you become involved in a case?
We are requested.
Okay.
So we have a dispatch in the London office. So a police agency would make a phone call to the London office, which makes the request. And then they put it on the log sheet, contact a supervisor, who in turn contacts the closest agent or the first available agent to go assist that police agency.
Okay, so unless you are requested, you're not out on the day-to-day operations on any given street in any given jurisdiction, correct?
No, we're requested.
Let me turn your attention to the state of Ohio versus Erica Stefanko. How did you become involved in this case?
We were notified by the New Franklin Police Department. I believe they had a vehicle that was in their facility, and they wanted to have that processed. So myself and I believe it was Agent McNeely went to the location to begin processing that vehicle, and that was potentially connected with a homicide. And while we were there was a second vehicle that was found in an adjoining county, I believe in Wayne County, that had the victim's body in the vehicle. I believe it was her vehicle.
Okay, so when the second body with the second vehicle in the adjoining county with the body was found, did you continue processing the first one, or did you go to the second vehicle?
No, we stopped I don't think we did anything with the first vehicle. I think that was left at that point in time because I believe that vehicle was then transferred to our facility in Richfield, Ohio, where then it was later processed after we got done with the scene in Wayne County.
Okay, so at this time, you go to Wayne County, did you all go, I think you mentioned Agent, is it McNeely? Or who all went with you out to the?
Yeah, it was Agent McNeely, which now it's Agent Butler, and then Agent Dan Winterich.
So you all go out to the second car in Wayne County, is that fair to say?
Yes.
What happened once you get out to Wayne County? Where did you go specifically?
We went out onto, I believe it was Poor Road in Wayne County. It was a farm field, kind of surrounded by wooded area. We made our way back through the field right away, I guess, if you will. There was kind of a pathway, driveway type. We made our way back there. Once we located the vehicle, then we started to take photographs and document the location of the vehicle as best we could.
And when you say you made your way a pathway, did you walk through the field? There's a kind of a dirt road, then a bridge, then you walk, or there's a like an ATV access road behind the field. How did you get to the location of the car, the vehicle?
We drove our trucks. We all had crime scene vehicles, and I believe we all drove our trucks out there.
I'm showing you what's been previously marked as State's Exhibit number 28. There's where's my pen? The car that you processed, where I'm pointing to, you see that?
Yes.
And then there's like an access road in front of the car, but then, of course, it's the field behind the car. Which way did you approach the car? I
believe
can't see where you're pointing to. Is it?
I believe you called it the ATV access area.
Okay, this is the way BCI and your vehicles came in to process the car through the ATV?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Now, before I get to the processing of the car, well, first, who all was on scene? Were there other police jurisdictions on scene when you arrived?
I believe there were, yes.
How does that work? You're requested, and then when you get to the scene, do the other jurisdictions defer to you? How does that work when you all arrive on scene?
Since it's in an adjoining county, that jurisdiction, when they found the vehicle, if they checked it and it was a missing vehicle, then they would have contacted the police agency with jurisdiction from where it was missing from. And we were at that agency at the time, So we just went, I believe we all just went down to the Wayne County area, this farm field access area, to process that vehicle and document the location of it.
And if you're requested to process it, is it fair to say the local jurisdictions will not do anything with it, maybe just secure the scene till you all get there?
I mean, they can process it, but I believe we get asked to process it because that's pretty much what we do all the time.
And during your tenure with BCI, approximately how many homicide crime scenes have you processed?
I literally have no idea.
Okay. Would you say in the hundreds or?
Yeah, easy.
All right. Now you get to this scene, generally, how do you process a scene? Do you start, is it outward, inward, or just the basics of how you process a scene?
Well, we like to document the location first the best we can by whatever means necessary that we have available to us. Primarily that's photographs, to photograph it in its location as it's found. And then I used a total station, set up a total station, and then from the location of the vehicle out to permanently fixed objects would have been poles that were out on the street that were quite a ways away from the location of the vehicle.
Okay. I know what a total station is, but can you briefly explain what a total station is?
A total station is a laser measuring device that's set up on a tripod, and once you get it into a perfectly level location, then it can be used to measure from the center point of the total station to any fixed object that can be identified by the laser. And it is capable of moving out to, I believe, quarters to half a mile if you can see the object at that distance. And then it records the data, and then with that data can be used to create a diagram depending on how it's gathered. Sometimes you can just input the data into the software and it generates a diagram for you. Sometimes you can create a diagram and use the measurements that you acquired with the total station and put those on the diagram, which I believe that's what I did, was I used the measurements to put on a Google Earth image to indicate distances.
You set that up, you used that. What did you do next?
Then we photographed the vehicle around the outside of it, and then I believe at the time we were there, they processed the outside of the vehicle. Myself, McNeely, and Winters processed the outside of the vehicle for fingerprints.
Okay.
And then I believe there were some swabs, some DNA swabs that were taken from the exterior of the vehicle, like door handles and whatnot. And once the outside of the vehicle has been processed to the best of our ability, then we would move inside the vehicle and document the inside of the vehicle.
Would it be the same process, meaning if you see something that you think is a stain or something, swabs or prints of that nature would be taken on the inside as well?
Yes,
And that's what you did for this car?
I believe so, yes.
I'm going to show you what's been marked as multiple states exhibits. Your Honor, these are the photos, and I remember what you instructed
Okay.
before.
All right, very good. Remind me, I can't recall if we start off with those particular photographs.
We don't, but I gradually move into them. I just want the court to know there are items that need to be pointed out in the photos.
Okay, that's fine. And ladies and gentlemen, just like we talked about earlier, there are some exhibits that have some photographs on them, and you'll see those pictures of the decedent victim. And so I know that Attorney Easter and Attorney LaPrenzi have worked with us on that. They'll try to move as efficient as possible, but we just wanted to let you know that those will be forthcoming. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm showing you what's been marked as States Exhibit number 36. Do you recognize that exhibit?
It appears to be it's a cornfield along a wooded lot.
I'm showing you what's been marked as State's Exhibit number 37.
Again, that is a farm field, cornfield that appears to be surrounded by some wooded lots.
State's Exhibit number 38.
And the decedent's vehicle, I believe, as we were walking in from the, I believe you call it the ATV path, documenting the vehicle, where it was at in relationship to the wooded area.
State's Exhibit number 39.
And in the process of documenting the exterior, there's a VIN number, vehicle identification number attached to the vehicle, and that looks like a photograph through the windshield of the VIN number of the vehicle.
Is that customary to make sure you, what car, who's the owner, and to get information such as that?
That information is attached to the VIN number, yes.
State's Exhibit number 40.
Looks like the decedent's vehicle photographed looking at the driver's side.
And I may not have chosen all the photos, but do you generally take a photo of each side of the vehicle, the front and the back?
Usually it's, if it's possible, usually it's documented 360 degrees around the vehicle.
State's Exhibit number 41.
Again, the decedent's vehicle, looking at it from the driver's side, and you can see what looks like a human body inside the back seat area.
State's Exhibit 42.
The same vehicle, now looking at the back, the rear end of the vehicle, the trunk area.
And the area around the vehicle, you see the corn, it's that the back of the vehicle where the corn is laying down on the ground, is that where the vehicle came in from,
It's possible.
the direction of travel? State's Exhibit number 44.
Looks like the same vehicle, the lower portion of it, that appears as though it's on the passenger side, more towards the rear of the vehicle.
State's Exhibit number 45.
And appears as though through the passenger window, looking towards the driver's side, the steering wheel, documenting the steering wheel area.
And State's Exhibit 46.
And there were receipts that were attached to the steering wheel, and it's a close-up photograph of those receipts.
State's Exhibit 47.
On the front passenger seat, there was a pizza, like a delivery bag.
Did you all collect the pizza delivery bag, or is that, do you know if you all collected that, just photographed it?
I'd have to see the inventory sheet to be able to tell you for sure, but
State's Exhibit number 48.
the doors open on the passenger side now, the pizza delivery bag's there, and then there was a camouflage jacket like on the front passenger floor.
Do you remember if any swabs or any stains were on the jacket, or any processing was done of the jacket?
It was probably collected because the lab can obtain what they call wearer DNA, so that we wouldn't process it for that in the field.
Okay.
I don't remember if there was any staining on it or not, but I know that it was collected.
Okay. State's exhibit number 51.
The jacket, as we pulled it out to take some photographs of it, there was some black colored duct tape that was attached to the jacket.
And this is the same jacket that was on the front passenger side floor.
Yes.
State's exhibit number 52.
The interior of the driver's door, there's some staining on the interior of the driver's door, and it looks like the dash area.
And swabs would have been taken of that and sent off to the appropriate
I
place.
believe so.
State's exhibit number 53.
Some more staining that was located inside the vehicle, inside of the door.
Do you know what side this is, the passenger or the driver's side?
I believe that's the driver's side, and I believe it's the front door.
State's exhibit number 54.
There's staining on the inside of the rear passenger door.
Okay. Was there a lot of blood at this scene or in the car?
There was quite a bit. I don't know that I would say a lot, but there was quite a bit.
State's exhibit number 56.
The decedent's body as it was positioned in the vehicle.
And can you describe what is on or the decedent's body?
There's, we refer to them as zip ties. And it's an attachment device that has a locking end, and then the strip part of it has teeth on it. Once you put the toothed strip through the locking end of it, it ratchets down tight and it can lock. And they come in various sizes from just a couple inches long to, I've seen them up to 4 feet long.
Okay. And where are those zip ties placed?
Around the ankles and around the knees.
Showing you what's been marked as State's exhibit 57.
That's a close-up view of the zip tie around the ankles.
State's exhibit number 58.
The back seat of the vehicle, there was, I believe that's a taser cartridge.
Okay. And that's, what is it by? What is that?
I'm sorry?
Is it the number 4? What do you call that?
I believe that's I think it's a taser cartridge.
Is that an identification placard or a number tent, or what is that number for the jurors? I know what it is.
It's a placard. It's what we use for identification purposes when we're taking photographs.
And you said that's a taser, you believe it's a taser cartridge?
I think so.
And this is the back seat, correct?
Yes,
This would have been after the deceased body had been moved, correct?
correct.
I'm showing you State's exhibit number 59.
That's the same photograph, only a close-up of the placard and the device.
Showing you State's exhibit number 60.
That's a photograph of the decedent's right hand.
And do you know if swabs would have been taken of the fingernails or hands? How do you process, hold on, let me stop. First one. Do you process the deceased body, or do you wait for the coroner? How does that work?
It depends on, it varies from county to county.
Okay,
Sometimes the coroner does not like us to do any processing of the body.
okay,
And in some counties, the coroner's offices like us to do partial processing of the body. So, and I think in this case, we swabbed the wrist and the ankles for possible DNA of somebody that may have manipulated the body. And then normally bags are put on the hands to protect any other kinds of evidence or trace evidence that might be on the hands, so that it gets to the medical examiner's office so that they can process that evidence.
showing you what's been marked as State's Exhibit number 61.
I believe that's a picture of the decedent's left hand.
State's Exhibit number 62.
A photograph of the decedent's back.
Do you know what these marks are, or have you seen marks like that before?
I'm not sure. The red mark that you see is generally referred to as lividity. And that's the settling of blood usually settles to the lowest point in the body after death. The black part, I'm not sure what that is.
I'm showing you what's been marked as State's Exhibit number 63.
It's a photograph of the decedent's back area, back of the head, neck area, and there's black duct tape. Looks like coming off of the neck area.
Do you know what do you see these wires?
Yeah, they look like taser wires.
And I'm showing you what's been marked as State's Exhibit number 65.
A picture of the decedent from the kind of the front side. It shows a zip tie that was placed around the neck.
And you can see more of those taser wires, is that fair to say?
Yes.
So it's fair to say the actual scene, if you had found any evidence coming up, did you look around or process the area surrounding the car as well?
I believe we did, yes.
And anything that would have been found would have been inventoried and tagged for the police, is that fair?
Yes, usually it's photographed, collected, and then an inventory is made and turned over to the police agency.
Okay. And when you say turned over to the police agency, that's the agency that calls you your request in for help?
Yes,
For assistance, rather?
yes,
Okay. And in this case, everything would have been photographed, tagged, and turned over to the New Franklin Police Department?
that's correct.
And that would have been when you processed the car from the swabs, and if any were done, latent prints and things of that nature, the swabs and everything would have been turned over to the New Franklin Police Department, and then it would have been up to the New Franklin Police Department to use that evidence or send it on to BCI. Is that fair?
Yes.
Okay. Do you all ever make the decision what to send to BCI, or is that the jurisdiction you're helping, that's their decision?
Usually it falls on the jurisdiction. They usually will contact like the prosecutor's office to find what's pertinent or probative in the investigation. If we are asked to interject or what an opinion might be as to what's probative, we can provide that opinion, yes.
Okay. So after you complete your request for help for a jurisdiction, what do you do then? Well, first of all, do you journalize what you do? Is there a report written?
Yes,
So in addition to any report that the police officers in that jurisdiction do, you also do a report journalizing and documenting what you do whenever you get a request for help?
yes.
All right, so after you did that, what, if anything, did you do concerning that car in that field?
I believe that vehicle was removed by usually a record company or a salvage wrecker or something, and then it can be stored. It can be held as evidence, which I'm not sure. I don't know where the vehicle's at now or what was done with it after that. But arrangements are generally made by the police agency to have that vehicle removed from that location.
And you went back to the police agency, so your main job there is to collect evidence, process the scene. You're not there as the investigator, so to speak. You're there to process the scene.
Correct.
Okay. Now, you had other involvement with this case, I believe. When we first started, I think you said you were about to process a different vehicle.
Yeah, as I said previously, New Franklin had contacted us about processing a vehicle that they had at their office, but we were interrupted from that process to go to this Wayne County location to deal with the crime scene that was out there. So then I believe that vehicle, the first vehicle, was then transported to our facility in Richfield, because we have a garage there that we can process evidence in that garage. I believe the vehicle was taken to that location where we processed that vehicle.
And that would have been, if I say on or about June 25th, 2012, does that sound about right?
Yeah, I believe so, yes.
Did you process that alone, or were other agents with you from BCI?
I believe myself and Agent Winterich processed the vehicle.
And this vehicle was processed in the same or similar way, where you start on the outside or exterior and work into the interior?
Correct.
Now, what type of, if you stated, I apologize, what type of vehicle was it?
Lincoln Navigator.
Around a 2008 Lincoln Navigator?
Yes.
All right, will you please tell the jury about processing that vehicle, what you did?
Like we do with most vehicles, when we process them, we photograph the vehicle 360 degrees around the outside of the vehicle to document if there's damage to the vehicle, if the tires are flat, whether they're inflated, if there's anything that could be found on the outside of the vehicle. A lot of times it's for damage. Sometimes there can be staining on the outside of the vehicle. There can be all kinds of things. We document the exterior of the vehicle first because we don't want to damage it or lose it to get inside the vehicle.
Okay. And when you say staining, you can't call it anything but staining. Is that fair to say? Even though if it looks like blood, you have your training and experience, it has to go to BCI and officially go through serology and DNA. Is that fair?
Yes, we do carry some chemicals that will give us presumptive positives for blood.
Okay.
But on the exterior of a vehicle, if the vehicle is involved in an accident, it could be animal blood, it could be human blood, and the laboratory then can discern the difference between animal or human blood. But for us, if we can figure out if it's at least blood, then we can document that much of it.
I'm going to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 105. What is this exhibit?
That is a photograph in our garage at the Richfield facility. That's where the Lincoln Navigator was placed in the garage, and that's where we processed it. So that's a photograph looking at the vehicle from the front passenger corner.
106.
Same vehicle, same garage, now looking at it from the driver's rear corner.
State's Exhibit 107.
Same vehicle, same garage, documenting the back hatch window area of the vehicle.
And can you describe for the jury what's on the back hatch window area?
It's stick figurines depicting a family, maybe.
Now you took a close-up. I'm showing you what's labeled as State's Exhibit number 108. Please tell the jury about this photo.
The stick figurine family, if you will, that was on the back of the window. To the left side of the figurines, you can barely see it here, but there are outlines of two figurines that are missing.
Is this one, like, I agree, you can absolutely barely see it. Where I'm pointing to, is that one figurine?
That would be like the head area of one of the figurines, yes.
Okay, and is this the other figurine?
Yes.
And what is this and what's the purpose of that?
They're missing.
No, the measurement. Oh, you,
Oh, okay. That a scale indicating size was placed underneath those two missing figurines to give cause to the size of the two missing figurines on the back of the window.
showing you what's been marked as State's Exhibit number 76.
It's a photograph inside through the passenger front window.
And there's stuff in the passenger seat, a Coke bottle, and money in the center console. Is that
Correct.
fair?
Yes.
State's Exhibit number 77.
I believe that's in the center console part of the Lincoln Navigator.
And what are the items in the center console?
They're radios.
Or like walkie-talkies?
Yeah, I'm not familiar with the technical name of them, but they're like a walkie-talkie type radio with headsets.
Okay. State's Exhibit number 78.
It'll be the front passenger door floor area, just documenting the floor mat.
Okay. I have a question. Can you see this area I'm circling over here as well?
Yeah,
Is that staining or like dirt?
I
Do you
don't,
know what that is? Was that documented?
I don't remember.
Okay. And I'm showing you State's Exhibit number 79.
Would be the front driver's seat with the driver's door open, just documenting the floor and the seat area.
Okay. And again, if the swabs or any other items processed on this car would have been given over to the requesting agency, is that fair?
Yes, ma'am.
After you process this 2008 Lincoln Navigator at the Richfield garage, what else did you do involving this case, if anything?
I believe that's it.
And from processing the car, did you prepare a report After processing the car as well?
Yes, I did.
And that report is separate and apart from the report you prepared from processing the vehicle in the cornfield, is that fair?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
I have a few more questions. I'm showing you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 44. Do you recognize this item hanging from the car?
Can you zoom in on it?
I sure can.
It appears as to be a taser wire and a taser probe. That's what it looks like.
And that would be where is this located? What door?
You have to zoom out for me, please.
I sure can.
Out. That's the passenger rear door.
Did you go out to 15007 Mount Eaton Road as well?
I don't remember.
Do you remember? If I showed you your report, or is there anything that I can show you that may refresh your recollection?
Yeah, if you have a report, that would be helpful.
I sure do. Was that it? After looking at your report, were you able to refresh your recollection?
This is authored by John Soraya. This is not authored by me.
I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Attorney O'Brien, will you use the podium? Yep, thanks, Desiree. Thank you very much.
few questions.
Oh, okay, fair enough. All right, thanks, Desiree.
Agent Staley, I'm Kerry O'Brien, and I represent Erica Stefanko,
Pleasure.
along with Ms. Cottrell. Just a few questions, and I'm going to draw your attention to the photos of the two hands in the back of the gray car out in the field.
Okay.
Both those hands had blood on them. Is that correct, sir?
Yes.
All right. And did you do any testing of those hands in terms of looking for DNA or maybe some skin cells under the fingernails?
No, I did not know.
All right. Do you know if those hands were bagged at all?
I believe they were.
And do you know whom might have done that?
Either myself or Agent Winterich would have done it in the presence of the coroner's office.
Fine. That's standard operating procedure with the BCI people?
Usually, yes.
All right. Geographically speaking, we're talking about your laboratory that did the work on the cars and anything else. Is that brick building about 10, 15 years old that sits out by the truck terminals? Up on the rise?
Our facility?
Yes.
It's up in Richfield on Brecksville Road.
Right.
I'm not familiar with the area other than the office.
I see, okay. In terms of the heat wave bag, was that tested in any way for prints or DNA? I'm sorry, that's the red bag that was on the inside of the Lincoln. Or I'm sorry, the gray car.
I'm not sure what bag you're referring to.
It's a bag that says pizza on it.
Oh,
It keeps the pizza warm.
I got you. I don't know if there was any test. I don't know if there's any further testing done on that or not.
Okay. I think we have a camo jacket, camouflage jacket.
Yes.
You identified?
Yes.
Do you know what size jacket that is?
Off the top of my head, I don't recall.
All right. And this jacket was shown to you just through a photograph?
Just today?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. The black Navigator. Did you find any type of with respect, I'm sorry, let's go back to Exhibit 44. I think that was the last exhibit that Miss Easter asked you about, the wire hanging down from the gray car.
Yes.
All right. Is there any way of attaching or getting those wires or probes to match up with anything else that was in the car?
I'm not real familiar with tasers, so I can't really answer that question because I don't have familiarity with those devices.
All right, very good, sir. If I could have a moment, Your Honor?
Yes,
Judge, thank you very much.
thank you. Any redirect?
Yes, Your Honor. You were asked about the jacket in the car.
Yes.
If the Richfield police have that jacket, it was from you all at the scene who collected that jacket. Is that a fair statement?
Yes.
And you were asked about testing, evidence, and I just want to make it clear, you're there to process the scene. Is that a fair statement?
Yes.
Any evidence that's sent to be tested, that is a decision that the requesting agency would make with BCI.
Correct.
I'm going to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 115. There's a manila envelope and another brown bag. You see that?
Yes, I do.
I'm gonna show you the manila envelope first. Will you please tell the jury what I'm showing you?
It appears to be duct tape attached to a piece of acetate.
Okay, and where does it say this duct tape comes from?
Removed from the jacket.
Okay. And that was the picture of the jacket that you were holding up that the strips of duct tape were on, correct?
I believe so, yes.
Okay, what am I holding up?
Appears to be a camouflage jacket or shirt.
And would this be the jacket that was found in the victim's vehicle that was in the cornfield?
It looks like it, yes.
I have no further questions, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. All right, thank you. All right, thank you, sir. You may step down. Thank you for your time and your patience here today. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, Desiree, thank you. All right, is the state ready to call your next witness?
Your Honor, Dr. Kohler said she's going to be here at 3 o'clock.
Okay. Well, I'll give them another break then. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for your patience. I very much appreciate it. You're not permitted to discuss this case amongst yourselves or with anyone else. You're not permitted to do any independent research. We will give you another recess. I think we'll have probably, 2 more witnesses today. So it's 10 till 3. My guess is we'll go for a little bit more. And again, I apologize for some of the breaks and delays today. We'll try to keep it moving. Thank you very much.